What we're going to do now is a tractioning of the shoulder blade. And we're going to do it in the same way that we did the arm tractioning, taking advantage of the elastic nature of the tendon and ligaments that are working around the scapula. We're going to take hold of the scapula, traction it out, and not only notice that the effect transfers to the upper thoracic, but we can feel that the effect of that transfers along with the clavicle and also decompresses the joint, the manubrium and the clavicle, which is a very critical area in terms of how motion is able to spread through the upper thoracic region. The movement in this area also is affecting the heart and the lungs, our ability to have full breathing, the ability to take in oxygen and to fully discharge carbon dioxide. So when we see lack of motion in this area, a lot of times it's caused by the slowing down of the lungs, slowing down of the upper body circulation, and opening this region and bringing motion back helps to improve the condition of the lungs and the heart and the circulation, particularly as it spreads through the upper body. Again, we're going to take this hand position with one under the shoulder joint and the other one at the inferior tip. And then we're going to traction the shoulder blade away from the body. And we're going to do that with an awareness of the elastic sensation, the elastic quality of the muscles, tendons, and ligaments that hold the scapula and hold the shoulder joint to the body. So just gently. To the body. So just gently tractioning. Feel that elastic quality, take it to its limit. And then we release and let the natural recoiling effect of the body pull it back in. Not only stretching the tendon and ligaments, but also activating the flow of life force through the tendon and ligaments, which is a deep layer of the body. Now I'm exaggerating just a little bit so that you can see some of the movement, but oftentimes it's not even visible when you're working with that elastic range of stretch and recoil. When you stretch to the limit and release your hands, it should be the natural force of the body that you feel bring it back to the body. And we can do that for several minutes. Very subtle, very minute stretching and releasing. While we're doing this, or we're doing any technique, but particularly these elastic stretching techniques, we keep one part of our attention to the motion of the whole body. And oftentimes we're noticing that as we liberate one area, other areas start to join in and synchronize with the movement of the area that we're working with. A lot of times as the body releases, we feel a sensation of the body going into a greater state of ease. And this is the direction that we want to take the treatment in a little further.
Can you say that again? Because I said take it away.
So let's break this down a little further. Get the hand position. When we bring the fingers under, we can curl them back, and the surface of the shoulder joint is like a ledge that we can hold on to. We're going to show that in a later small clip in a different position so you can see the exact hand position. So we're slipping under, pulling our fingers back, and that gives us a good grip on the shoulder joint. And then slipping our fingers under the inner border of the scapula, usually toward the lower part. Sometimes we might want to bring it higher on the scapular border, but as a starting point on this inferior tip, on the inner part of the scapula. In the tractioning, as you can see, besides activating the tendons and ligaments and the effects we've talked about, guiding life force to that deeper layer of the body, restoring agility, flexibility. You can see that it does bring movement to the secondary area along the spine. And so we can traction directly toward ourselves. We can also bring the traction a little bit more toward the head. So this would be like in a 45-degree angle. And all the grades in between to achieve specific transfers of movement to different levels of the spine. So we could say that bringing it on this direct line toward your body is the neutral. We could traction down, and you can see that that's giving a lot more transfer upper thoracic and cervical. Neutral is kind of in the middle. And then as we traction this way, we're getting some movement lower in the thoracic. We also want to be aware with this technique how when we make the tractioning, there's an effect on the front of the body. The clavicle is being stretched away from the manubrium, and this is a critical area in the vitality of the body, because under the manubrium we have the thymus gland, and when that's compressed, there's a lack of circulation to that thymus gland, a lack of ability for that thymus gland to do what it does, and that is to provide a lot of information to the immune system. So the decompression in this technique of that manubrium clavicle joint is critical.